First, we learn that, dissatisfied with his empty life in America, restless Harry has been exploring the possibility of a partial return to frontline royal duties in Britain. Then, incredibly, we're told that the petulant prince will not rejoin his long-suffering family until he receives an apology from his estranged brother, William. For what, exactly? If these stories are true, I suggest that the Ginger Whinger needs psychiatric help. He is clearly lost on planet Harry, an alien otherworld where sentience and logic cannot survive. No one wants him back, and there's zero chance whatsoever of William ever saying sorry. Why the hell should he? But if Harry does succeed in his ludicrously optimistic mission to once more grace the UK with his regal presence, make no mistake, Meghan Markle won't be at his side. She hates Britain, and frankly, its feelings mutual. What long periods of separation could mean for the unsettled couple's marriage is anyone's guess. But the portents are far from encouraging. With Meghan in Montecito and Harry in London, would the Duke and Duchess of Sussex's relationship last? You decide. That said, the famously forgiving King Charles is apparently willing to consider his youngest son's readmission to the fold. But two words stand in the way of Harry's rehabilitation: Prince and William. It spoke 1,000 words that when the feuding siblings were in the same English country church for the funeral of their beloved uncle Lord Robert Fellows, not a word passed between them. The atmosphere was apparently arctic. "United in grief!" screamed the newspaper headlines. But they weren't united. And if William has his way, they never will be again. And while the famously soft-hearted King Charles would love nothing more than for an end to his son's bitter war, he will defer to William, who, as heir to the throne, believes that excitable, loose-tongued Harry represents an existential threat to the very institution of the British monarchy. The Prince of Wales feels that the brother to whom he was once so close cannot be trusted with confidences, and that his tendency to emotionally blurt out his anger and frustrations is seriously damaging to royal dignity. So where does this leave hapless Harry? Between a rock and a hard place, with an American wife who covets fame and fortune in Hollywood and a British brother who won't let him come home. Here's the problem. The dithering Duke of Sussex seems to suffer from the grass is greener syndrome. When social mountaineer Meghan lured him across the Atlantic, the grass was greener in America. Even greener when they signed massive money deals with Netflix and Spotify. 4 years on, now that the bucket of spite the gruesome twosome poured all over the royal family is empty, one of those deals has been axed and the other is on life support, reduced to embarking on ridiculously pointless pretend royal toils, and basically with sod all to do. Suddenly, Harry looks back at Britain and guess what? The grass looks greener. So, is he homeward bound? Is he hell? In his childlike manner, haughty Harry is used to getting his own way. But this time, he's out of luck. To this entitled, overgrown schoolboy, the grass in little old England may be greener, but it is also strictly forbidden. Strong-willed Wills is not prepared to forgive and forget Harry's constant attacks. On their father for being mean and unloving, on the entire Windsor clan for their alleged racism, but especially on his wife Kate, the Princess of Wales. So, Harry, looks like you're stuck on the West Coast where the sun-scorched grass is brown, not green, with Meghan, Queen of California. Good luck with that. If he really does think that William has anything to apologise to him for, or that he will apologise, then, as I say, I genuinely think that the Ginger Whinger needs psychiatric help. That is insane.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a week ago that Harry and William were together at Lord Fellow, their uncle's funeral, and they did not talk by all accounts. So I don't think that relationship is any closer to being reconciled. But Harry is a spoilt brat. Yep. I'm just going to say it. He's come back with all these conditions about re-entering the family that he trashed publicly to the entire world, to millions and millions of people, and now he's hobbling back. Yeah. And I think I kind of have this, it's not a theory, but I see Harry as almost like a pristine racehorse who's been bred in a certain way, and he is now getting entered into the real world and he hasn't been able to deal with it.
Pristine racehorse, an old nag, if you ask me.
Well, that's what he's become since, like, sort of leaving the family. But it's almost like making a racehorse go and work at a sort of shop, and he just has no actual real world experience on how to deal with it. But I think in his mind he thought, yeah, I'll enter the real world, it's easy.
Yeah, you've got to admit, Simon, I mean, him saying, look, I won't come back unless you give me an apology. Two things about that. They don't want him to come back. And secondly, if he really does think William will ever apologise to him, or if he thinks that he has any reason to apologise to him, as I say, he's in the head.
He will come over and he will do stuff, but he can still stick to his guns, and that he's not going to be the first person to make that move. There's obviously no love lost between the brothers at all.
That's putting it mildly.
But it takes two to tango. There needs to be, if there's going to be a rapprochement, then I think both of them are going to have to move, aren't they?
Yeah, but William doesn't want a rapprochement.
But
he doesn't want one.
But
he doesn't want one. I genuinely believe now that both Charles and William are so pissed off with this sort of moaning little kid in Los Angeles, on the West Coast, in Montecito, that they're just past caring, and they don't want him in the fold because he's dangerous to them. If you say anything to him, he immediately blurts it out to People magazine. And actually, there's an extraordinary story that has appeared in People magazine and by the way, American People magazine, if it's a story about Harry and Meghan, that means it came from Harry and Meghan. It's what they use as their unofficial mouthpiece. And it is this, that they ran a story saying that Harry and Meghan were prepared to stop blurting out confidences if they were given security when they came back to Britain. Now, that's them. That's coming from them. That's f***ing extortion.
Yeah, but when we talked about Thomas Markle doing the same thing, you guys defended Thomas Markle.
Yeah, but Thomas Markle's not a member of the royal family.
But it's still sort of like emotionally blackmailing to get your own way. It's still pretty bad behaviour.
Yeah, but Thomas Markle didn't say I won't blurt out any confidence.
He pretty much did.
He didn't. Stop making things up.
I'm not making it up.
Thomas Markle is a minor member in this whole
Yeah, but he still said it. Let's just go back to the...
your bizarre hatred of Thomas Markle.
Let's go back to the funeral.
Poor old guy in Mexico.
Let's go back to the funeral.
And you hate him. What's wrong with you?
Let's go back to the funeral. It's very... commentators also noted about the funeral that nobody knew that Harry was going to turn up because Harry will not share anything with anybody except a trusted circle.
That just sounds bloody inconvenient.
Diana's brother, Charles Althorpe, knew that he was coming, but Harry won't share anything with anybody who he doesn't trust. So I should imagine that William was pissed off that Harry wasn't just turned up, and he probably didn't know about it because Harry doesn't trust the royal family not to leak. They have got...
absolutely...
Don't be ridiculous. He's the leaker. They don't leak stuff about him. That narrative is bollocks, isn't it? Enough. Samara.
Name one thing that Charles or William has leaked about Harry to the media. Leaked. I mean, they don't have a People magazine to go for. And I'd also really like to know...
Through the court... I'm answering your question, but we know through the court proceedings that the office... And this has happened with royal families ever since you go back to kind of warring brothers in the Tudor and medieval. They don't get on. Royal brothers don't get on. And also, you know, look at King George and King Edward VIII, who abdicated. They didn't get on either. Brothers do not get on.
In those times, they didn't have a massive publishing deal where they told people, "Oh, my brother pushed me down."
But they did have different courts, and they did have different support systems where they would leak stories. Am I right, Kevin?
Look,
grudgingly.
The trouble with Harry is he thinks it's like Camilla on the phone to the Sun, or King Charles on the phone to the Times and the Telegraph, and that's absolute. And William, it's absolute crap.
Yeah.
Yes, I absolutely accept there are courtiers who probably do put stories out about the royal family, usually because they feel obliged to respond to the horse shit that Harry's been spraying about them, about them being racist and things like that. It's outrageous the way he behaves, isn't it? He's a little loony, and he's thick as shit, That's the problem. And this is a story that's come out today. Sir Ian McKellen, our finest actor, Shakespearean and all that, has given a big interview to the Times of London over here. And he said that the problem with Harry, he said, by the way, to cut you some slack, he says he's on Harry's side. But he says the problem with Harry, and the reason he's on Harry's side, is he says, Samara, that Harry's too thick to handle being a member of the royal family. He does not have the intellectual capability. Yeah, the faint praise, indeed.
Damned by faint.
But it's true. His dimness is becoming a massive problem.
Yes, I think he lacks a lot of real world sort of...
Now, brains, that's what he lacks.
Yeah, no, but he lacks a lot of real world skills, and he clearly doesn't actually know how to make a buck out there. We can see that with all the failed projects that have happened. He thinks that he's something so
His wife's
great.
not much better.
However, she wasn't great in Hollywood. That's why she ran for the royal family.
I said this...
No,
I need to jump in there, Samara.
No, you don't.
All right, Simon. Oh my God.
I know she's a woman, but in this show, we're not sexist. Well, you're sexist, but we're not.
Let's let Samara speak.
No, it's all right, Simon. What did you want to say?
I wanted just to pick up on, you said all the failed businesses that they'd done, but I said last week, well, they're entrepreneurs, and you laughed and scoffed. But Trump is the same, and you praise... He's had loads of failed businesses.
What's Trump got to do with it?
He's had loads of failed businesses.
He's a billionaire.
That's what
Let's
entrepreneurs...
not bring Trump into this.
That's what
he may well
entrepreneurs do.
crop up later in the show.
They might have to run back to the UK.
Almighty.
I'm just trying to pick you up in your hypocrisy.
You just live in a world of pantomime villains.
I don't. Harry and Meghan, their businesses fail, bad. Trump, his businesses fail, hero. Oh God, I'm just trying to get some sort of continuity between your arguments.
After that very bad point, it's time for a bad ad.
Oh no, what a mess. Introducing Lap and Snack, with a patented deep groove to keep the bowl secure and dual chambers to hold your favorite snacks. Use it in the living room or even the den. Made of space-age polymers, it's virtually indestructible. Available in 4 designer colors: emerald green, regal blue, canary yellow, and cherry red. Stop using ordinary bowls and get the snack bowl that stays, the Lap and Snack. Order yours today.
The Lap and Snack, if you'd use it the other way around, you could use it as a bra if you're a woman, couldn't you? Maybe a bloke if you've got man boobs.
When I talk about entrepreneurship, that is entrepreneurship.
That's entrepreneurship
not
for you.
Little pots of jam.
I'm surprised Meghan's not behind that. But it strikes me, though, it could still fall off your knee, couldn't it? Even though it's got a groove there.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it's just the most bizarre thing. Was it Australian or was it American?
No, that was American.
It was American. Oh, obviously.
No, but they're smart enough to come up with this stuff. I want one.
It was far too clever for the Australians. Sorry, I say it's just a joke at Samara's expense. Time for some real ads now. What just happened?
He's mad as hell. It's Kevin O'Sullivan.
She doesn't have any policies, but you want voices? Kamala's got voices. Extraordinary scenes as the Democrats' great black hope adopted a strange southern drawl while delivering another of her cavernously empty campaign speeches. Addressing a crowd of colour in Michigan, Karma Chameleon went all gone with the wind as she waxed lyrical about the wonders of trade unions. Hours later, in Pittsburgh, repeating the exact same words on workers' rights, flip-flop faker Harris seemed to have returned to her natural California accent. Her rival Donald Trump was quick to seize on the hilarious change of tone, posting on social media footage of the same speeches in varying vocal styles. Let's see if you can spot the difference, he sarcastically inquired. And you certainly can. Dubbed America's #1 shapeshifter, Kamala is all things to all men, and of course women. What does she believe in? What do you want her to believe in? Such as they are. If you don't like her opinions, she has others. She's big on abortion rights. She believes in universities choosing students on the basis of their race. Opposes the death penalty, is a huge advocate of gun control, agrees with legalising cannabis, and she's loose on immigration. Like all lefties, Kamala loves letting illegal foreigners in. Not forgetting, of course, her manic championing of anti-business union power. None of the above are massively appealing to middle America, which is probably why her rallies to adoring fans who, for some reason, have swallowed whole the ludicrous lie that she's the perfect candidate, are full of absolutely nothing. Grinning wildly like the voice-throwing ventriloquist she is, Harris promises hope, joy, love, but precious little else. Can she get away with this vacuous, hippy-dippy claptrap all the way to polling day on November the 5th? Americans are not stupid. If she doesn't level with them, tell them what she's actually about, they'll vote Trump and his no-nonsense solutions to the rampant problems that have exploded during the rancid reign of living fossil Joe Biden. This empty vessel of a candidate's only media interview on friendly soft soap CNN with her irritatingly folksy running mate Tim Walz holding her hand exposed her hidden shallows. She wasn't even prepared for the obvious opening question. What will you do on day one in the White House? Horribly hesitating before garbling some nebulous nonsense about helping the middle classes. Here she is on how she would tackle the scourge of inflation. We need to take a moment here to acknowledge what inflation is and what it means for people and the great meaning it has in people's lives. Great. One thing's for sure, Ms. Harris had better add some gravitas to her airhead agenda when she goes head-to-head with the Donald in the intriguing first TV debate. If Trump trounces her, could it be next stop oblivion? Not so much the ventriloquist, more the dummy. Maybe Kama Chameleon, mistress of vocal disguise, should start rehearsing her election-losing accent. Don't you think, Samara?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she's literally incapable of having an exchange of words that isn't a word salad. Basically, extemporaneous sort of weird way that she can't talk. I mean, she couldn't do the interview without Tim Walz. We forget that the last debate that Trump did, which was, a couple months ago, he obliterated Biden so much that Biden had to step down as the primary candidate. We are really forgetting that information. Yeah. I think that we keep comparing Trump to his Hillary days when he was kind of a bit more fresh on the politics scene. He's a bit of a veteran now. He's been the president. He knew to shut his mouth when he needed to, that last debate with Biden. He knew just to let him go on. He'll know to do the same.
I know America. They are very politically engaged. She's got to come up with some policies. She's got to say something. She can't keep going, hope, love, joy. It's not going to wash. And on Tuesday, September the 10th, few days hence from when we're recording this show, it will be the TV debate on ABC. It's going to be very intriguing, won't it?
It's going to be very intriguing. A few points there that I want to cover. The first one is Trump didn't win the debate. Joe Biden lost it. I mean, so let's stop pretending that Trump is some sort of great orator and everything else.
Who said that?
He's an idiot.
He went up against a senile old git.
And by the way, Joe Biden lost it. Can I make my other points?
No, you can't. Before you make your empty points, you're almost as empty as Kamala. Let's have a look at Kamala up against Mike Pence in the last election.
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking.
I'm
speaking. Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking.
Well, wait.
I'm speaking.
It'd be important if you said the truth.
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking. I'm speaking. Okay. If you don't mind letting me finish, we can then have a conversation, okay?
Please.
Okay.
Non-answer.
Trying to answer you
the
now.
American people deserve a straight answer.
I will not sit here and be lectured by the Vice President. I'm speaking.
Do us a favour, Kamala. Just stop speaking, because you're not saying anything. What a patronising arsehole.
Okay, let me let me finish my points.
Yeah, you can't you can't compete with my intellectual point there. She's a patronising arsehole who can only go, I'm speaking.
Takes one to know one. So I'm just going to finish my points if you don't mind. Yeah. Sorry, I'm speaking. Yeah. Okay, so here,
Samara, what do you think?
I'm speaking. Thanks. I'm speaking.
So let's go.
Speaking.
So let's go over this.
I'm speaking.
You started off by.
I'm speaking.
You started off by criticising her accent. That's opportunistic. You talk in the language.
We haven't done that.
You talk.
You do not. Do you think
you talk?
So
in
when
language.
I go to Newcastle, you expect me to start talking in a Newcastle accent?
No. But very.
Well, I do that.
But people who want to get their message across talk in the language and the accent of the people they're talking
If
to.
they're
a lot of people do that.
If they're a faker.
A lot of people do that.
If they're a manipulative...
I see that as marketing. I see that as opportunistic. I see that as politics. Nothing to get upset about there. The other thing I would say is, I keep on reiterating it. She doesn't really need to say anything yet because Vance and Trump are falling over themselves by being idiots by everything they do say.
Great point, brilliant point. Here, let's have a look now at Kamala and her many voices when she goes all gone with the wind whenever she's patronisingly talking to an audience of colour, which I think is awful. But anyway, let's have a look.
You better thank a union member for the 5-day work week. You better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave. You better thank a union member for vacation time.
Well, how do you like that? Well, here's Kamala speaking in what you might call her real accent, which is from California.
Thank unions for sick leave. Thank unions for paid family leave. Thank unions for your vacation time.
Well, hot diggity dog, what a fraud, Samara.
Yeah, she's a fruitcake. I mean, she literally, it's actually really demeaning to people who, I don't know, in that situation are black. And it's really, really patronizing. And I think that I even saw a conversation with her. She was talking with a leader within the black community.
I'm speaking.
Okay. I've done something really wrong.
I'm speaking.
Yeah, wow. No, she was talking to someone and they were like, we have black issues that we need to sort out and we need a black congregation. And it was really starting to sound a lot like segregation. And so I think when she's trying to, but it was a conversation that really was sounding like they were trying to segregate themselves and she was trying to segregate them. But anyway, what I was trying to say is that, she really demeans people with this. She doesn't actually know what audience she's trying to pander to, and people can see right through it. People really can. The American people are not that stupid. That's probably been viewed on Twitter millions of times now. And that's really going to affect her campaign and her standing. She doesn't have any legs to stand on. She's been the VP. She's been the VP for 4 years. What the hell has she done?
VP.
It's ridiculous.
No, but seriously, Simon, a bit of authenticity.
No.
Don't be authentic.
Her job.
Don't be authentic.
Her job.
Lie to the people. Pretend you're something you're not. That's your idea of a good candidate.
Excuse me, I'm speaking. Her job is to connect.
That's the theme of the show.
Her job is to connect with the
Her
job is to connect with the audience that's in front of her, and if that means by changing her accent,
how you doing, y'all?
Go for it. That's her job.
Ridiculous.
That is her job. You might say that's demeaning, but you're looking at it from an outsider as a political commentator. If you're somebody who's at that rally who doesn't hear her talk at any other time, then she is connecting with you.
She's conning them.
And that's what she's supposed to do.
She's conning them.
No, not at all.
She's
Anyway, we know that she is mixed race. If she goes and speaks to a black audience, she will talk about black issues. If she goes and speaks to an Indian audience, she'll talk about Indian stuff.
So she could do an Indian accent.
That's not demeaning them.
Good
That is
evening, I am
connecting.
Kamala
She
Harris.
needs to be a connector. Your man, Donald Trump, he's a busted flush.
Yeah, no,
It's
I don't
over
think
for
he
him.
is. I don't think he is, and I'll tell you what. I'll tell you why.
Because you're mad?
He is gaining more and more support from unlikely areas. Look at these supporters. Look, it's Tim Walz's family. These are all of Tim Walz's family.
Wow.
They're his relatives. They support Trump. They know that Tim Walz is a fraud, a left-wing idiot, Uncle Sam dad idiot.
It looks like
American dad.
It looks like a bad remake. A bad remake of Cocoon. That lot will be dead by the time it comes around to voting in November.
That's a bit prejudiced.
Yeah, I'm connecting with my audience, my left-wing audience.
That's racist, that is.
Didn't say anything about them being.
You did. That's
didn't
racist.
say anything about them being.
I'm going to have to ask. I'm speaking.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to ask you to leave the show. No, seriously. That's got to hurt for Kamala, doesn't it?
Listen, I think
and Waltz. Proving that nobody likes Tim Waltz, especially his own family.
I think that it probably hurts that his family are so stupid that they've become MAGA morons and are voting for Trump.
It's not moronic to vote for Trump.
It is.
Yeah, but let me tell you,
every week you tell me I don't understand Americans.
Look. This is what I'm going to advise you. I'm going to be honest with you here, which
Okay.
is very rare for me. And
Yeah.
I'm going to do this in... what sort of accent would you like me to do?
You can
I'll do it in a Cockney accent.
You can
all right?
patronise me as much as you want.
Now, what it is...
Yeah,
is
go on then.
I'm going to level with you, like.
Come on then, matey.
Right?
Right.
It could go either way.
Yeah.
Right? It could go either way. But what I would advise you is
Yeah.
to drop your certitude, because there's no certainty here. I think Trump will win. I am not certain. For you to embrace your stupid little Guardian reading left-wing sensibilities and think, but surely, because she's all woke, she must win. For you to interpret that means she must win is a big mistake.
It's not about...
Don't be certain. Don't be certain.
It's not about...
Don't be certain, mate.
It's not...
Don't be certain.
It's not about she's woke, she will win. Trump is a fascist,
Yeah, but
a felon.
No. Don't
He is.
be certain.
He's a fascist,
Yeah,
a felon.
but a lot of Americans like that.
And
you
he's
idiot.
and he's
Let's
mad.
go to a bad ad.
And he's mad.
What'll they say? What'll they say? What'll they say? It's great to feel the wind in my hair, to take the plunge and know that it's there. It's part of me now. What'll they say? What'll they say when I walk through the door and they really see the change? Well, that's okay, but what'll she say when we meet tonight? What'll she say? Hair fusion, put you right on top. Hair fusion, put you right on top. Hair fusion, put you right on top.
Hair fusion. You could do with a bit of that, Simon.
Yeah, put me right on top.
Yeah.
Did you see Samara when she saw it? She was like, as he ran down the beach.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, well, finally, there's something that objectifies a male. I mean, we've had a lot of, bodies with trees and different vulgar
Just as it
dramas.
should be. Just as it should. Oh, that pool player last.
Yeah.
Anyway, just propose a toast to absent friends, including Simon's hair.
And to Kevin's brain.
Oh, yeah. What a comeback. And on that unfunny bombshell, it's time for a real break. What just happened?
He's mad as hell. It's Kevin O'Sullivan.
Right, it is time now for the serious part of the show. No, we are supposed to be serious journalists. You wouldn't believe it, would you? But we are, and so we're going to debate a serious topic, and that is Elon Musk and the way that people all over the world, left-wingers, hate him because he's rich and clever and successful. I hate that about socialists, don't you? The way they despise successful people who make money. Politics of jealousy, isn't it? However, the thing about that they're really hating him about now is his platform, X, used to be Twitter, which, whatever you think about it, and my God, is that a cesspit of spite and nastiness, which is what I like about it, actually. It is a platform for free speech, and he sticks by that. He let a lot of very controversial characters back onto Twitter, or X as he now calls it, because he said he didn't have the right not to let them speak. So Donald Trump was allowed back in. The banning of him was just ludicrous. Can't ban a former president. A guy called Tommy Robinson here in Britain, who's a sort of right-wing guy, he was allowed back on. So what Musk has done is said, look, it's not my job to monitor what people say. This is an international platform for free speech. In Brazil, they've closed X down because supporters of the last president, Bolsonaro, were flooding X with their thoughts, and the new government didn't like that. So that was called free speech. The new government shut it down. And Musk just let it happen because he says, I'm not going to fight this. You know, this is a platform for free speech. Now, when he got involved in our riots a couple of months ago and started saying that Starmer is all his fault, which in many ways it was, the Guardian newspaper here, probably your Bible, the useless Guardian, left-wing load of crap with about 7 readers, said that he should be arrested. You know, so left-wingers hate freedom of speech, don't they? That's what they hate Elon Musk on 2 bases. One, that he's rich and successful. And I could put one more in. And very, very clever. It's an extraordinary mind he's got. He's 10 years ahead of everyone else on everything. So that's 3. And the other thing they hate him for is he's an absolutist about freedom of speech. He doesn't believe there should be any chains shackling the right to freedom of speech. And I think I'm with him. Where are you, Samara?
Yeah, I think I disagree with you on one point that I think that meaning.
You're not here to disagree. That's not the dynamic of the show. That's not the format.
Whoa, it's all broken. No,
I'm speaking.
I'm speaking. No, I think that people don't actually hate him because he's rich. I think, well, let's take...
They do.
I'll take you back to a time before he owned
See, I might quite hate him because he's rich.
Yeah, I think we all kind of feel a bit facetious about it. But I think before he was rich and when he just owned Tesla and when he developed PayPal, he was actually a bastion of hope for a lot of left-wing people. People loved him because he was creating electric cars. He was into renewable energy. He would do all these talks about going to space. People loved him. And then he went and bought Twitter, and that's when everything changed. The free speech absolutism that he stands for, he came out, obviously, now he's supported Trump. He's supporting Trump's campaign a lot. He came out and said a lot of different things which the liberal elite didn't agree with. And that is when all the media turned on him. You can see it in a timeline of when that happened. Yeah. So this shift towards hating Elon Musk is because he's saying what a very small proportion of people that are in control of things don't agree with. Absolutely. And that's where the issue is.
And why would The Guardian want him arrested, Simon?
Because he's a conduit for hate speech and a peddler of misinformation. Maybe those two reasons.
Why would that mean that you have to be arrested?
Because he's dangerous.
So because he criticised the Prime Minister?
No, you're allowed to.
Because he champions free speech?
No.
I mean,
because he peddles misinformation.
Hate speech should not be a crime.
He peddles misinformation that leads to the breakdown of society and sows division.
Bullshit. Look, hurty words. Who gives a f***?
It's not...
if I offend you, I don't care, and it's not a crime. It shouldn't be a crime. Hate speech should not be a crime. It's words. It's the right to speech. It's disgraceful that in this country people can be thrown into jail for things that they say. What the is happening to this place?
Well,
this Prime Ministers we got right now. He's a bloody Stasi man.
No.
Stormtrooper.
No, it's not about. Very good. It's not about the speech. It's not about the speech. It's about the effect of that speech has on people. You have to
deal with it.
You have to have
deal with it.
You have to have responsibility. And of course, you right-wingers, you've had a go at left-wingers, okay?
I'm not a right-winger.
You right-wingers, or you
I'm socially very left-wing.
Okay, okay. The thing is, let's just talk about...
I'm an advocate of common sense.
Let's talk about...
Free speech used to be a left-wing ideology.
You're also an interrupting wanker who won't let me speak.
I'm speaking!
But... You have a go.
English word for the American audience there. You just called me an interrupting wanker. I think you know what that means. Jerk off.
You sort of say about sort of the us being unhappy about him being rich. Not at all. It's not about that. It's the way that he has changed that platform. As you say, it's more of a cesspit now because ultimately anybody can go on there, say what they want, and a lot of what happened with the riots and a lot of people being in danger is because he allowed misinformation to spread
in
and then promoted
In 1981, there were many more riots than we had this year.
Yes.
Starting with the Brixton riot.
Yes.
It's called the Summer of Discontent.
Indeed, I remember it.
What caused the riots? The telephone?
No, there was...
So it's not... methods of communication.
Oh, okay, so
it's not methods of communication.
So all riots are started by the same thing.
It's not methods of communication that cause riots.
You just asked me a question, a rhetorical question, and answered it. Samara, please. I'd love to hear what you've got to say.
Elon Musk is who he is. Because of his autism, I think he doesn't have the ability to censor himself, which I actually really respect. Because we see Mark Zuckerberg on the other side of things, who acts sometimes really like a puppet of he doesn't get the same flack. He lets all the same information onto his platforms, but he doesn't get the flack that Elon Musk does because he's not on his computer typing things. But we all know that the stuff that he probably thinks behind the scenes about absolutism and freedom of speech are probably similar to Elon's. I'm just making...
Elon Musk is stupid, though, in many ways.
Oh, really stupid.
Just listen to this. Elon Musk said...
I wish I could be stupid like Elon
Musk retweeted this fact that 50% of women who'd been vaccinated had miscarried. And, just if you had you had a grain of critical thought, if 50% of pregnant women in the world all miscarried, that would be a huge, huge story. For him to retweet that and be able to promote it through algorithms is a spreading of misinformation.
So what?
And also...
What, you're allowed to be wrong?
And also people...
You're allowed to be wrong?
Let me finish. And also people stopping people or making people think, oh, I won't get vaccinated for other vaccines. The knock-on effect that we've seen in this country...
That's your opinion, Simon.
Let me
say
finish. The knock-on effect that has had in this country for other people on other vaccines, I'm not talking about the COVID vaccine,
that's because you...
is wrong.
Yeah, but you believe everyone should go and get vaccinated.
I don't believe that.
No, but a lot of people...
I don't believe
a lot of people
that.
don't.
I don't believe that. That's not true.
Let me just finish. Promoting vaccination is not Elon Musk's job. Whether or not he's right about those miscarriages, if he's wrong, you've got the right to be wrong. That's called freedom of speech.
Exactly.
What are you going to do? Throw him in jail for being wrong?
And I'm not saying throw him in jail.
Well, what then? What's he done wrong?
No.
I am saying...
Got a fact wrong. Big deal.
I'm saying he's peddling misinformation.
So what?
And peddling
Well, you're promoting group
Why aren't you allowed to peddle misinformation?
You're promoting groupthink. You want everyone to go under your collective umbrella of what you think is right, and it isn't. You just think there's one right and one wrong. He's opening a discourse for people to talk about things, and you are against that. Just admit it.
Okay, I am against Elon Musk, but if anybody has that power to stand somewhere and to say to a group of people, this has happened, we should go and do something about it, and somebody or people get hurt or killed because they've said the wrong information or said something bad, don't they have a responsibility? You want to abdicate all responsibility and to hell with the consequences.
Look, I think...
You do?
No, yes, I do. Yeah,
well,
I absolutely
Well, then
do.
screw you. I disagree.
Because I believe in freedom. I'm an absolutist about freedom of speech.
And I believe with great power becomes great responsibility. Ask Peter Parker.
But I'll concede, if you have the power to tell a group of people, attack a mosque, attack a migrants' hotel, and they do that, then you have incited violence.
And that is hate speech.
And that, no, it's not. It's a crime.
Which is hate speech.
Well, no,
you're just using semantics.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
I don't mind if you want to say migrants are a pile of
then you can say that.
Yes, exactly.
But
that's hate speech.
No,
come on, Simon. No.
If you
inciting violence
is a crime and it's hate speech.
Will you let me
really annoying when people over you, isn't it?
If you incite people to commit violence against others, if you incite people to harm others, then that is a crime in itself. Apart from that, you should be able to say anything you like. I think you should be allowed to say, I'm not a racist. Nobody here is a racist. However, if you want... Just Simon says he is. If you want to be racist, that should not be illegal. That should not be illegal.
No, and I don't...
Well, it is in this country.
No, it is not illegal. It is not illegal to be racist.
That Keir Starmer, Stormtrooper, he interpreted what he used those riots for was a mechanism by which he's going to crack down on social media and the way people communicate with each other, because like all left-wing governments, they cannot stand freedom of speech.
And Cameron did the same thing.
Governments all... Sure, I agree. I totally agree.
Oh, wow.
Him too. I'm no fan of the Tories. They're as bad as this Labour lot. But all over the world, nations, particularly left-wing nations, hate Elon Musk, and they hate X, and they hate Facebook because it's a mechanism by which people exercise pure freedom of speech.
I think they've also crossed that line and have incited...
Yeah, well, I'm with you there. That's against the law.
And I think that hate speech... which is criminal, so we're getting to a place of agreement, should be illegal and they should be arrested.
I'm just saying...
And I think Elon Musk has done that as well, and well done, Brazil, for banning him.
It is sinister when governments try to crack down on the way people communicate with each other because they don't like what they're saying. And that's exactly what this Stasi guy that we've got in charge of Britain right now, lock 'em up, two-tier Keir, is doing. It's a disgrace. He's mischaracterising what caused those riots, and it wasn't just far-right thugs. Let's go to a bad ad.
If you believe in music, sweet, sweet music, Peter Salt is just the man to see. He's music through and through, and he knows what's best for you. Pianos, organs, and guitars. guitars for potential rising stars, or just the fun of music in your home. Mr. Music, Peter Salt, the Music Man.
That's not an Australian advert.
It is.
Is that
Yeah, it is. Well, I recognise the address.
The favourite
yes.
store of yours, is it? Is that where you got all your electric keyboards and your trumpet?
I played the violin. I'll have all of you know.
You're any good at blowing the trumpet?
The trumpet, no. God, my parents.
You
would
played
not
the
have allowed
violin?
me. Yeah, I did play the
You
violin.
impressed
for
with
many
Peter
years.
Salt's organ?
Look, there's a lot that I can't
Jesus
say about what I think about that ad, okay?
Okay.
Because I got in trouble last time.
Okay.
Yeah, by the way, we'll be talking about semen later on. We finished the show last week on whether or not semen was vegetarian because
Samara is
Samara's
a
vegan. And I'm a vegetarian. Well, a pescatarian.
Yeah.
So.
Do never ever call me a vegan again. That's a very bad word. I'm a
fish
vegetarian.
come, though, don't they? So I could be in trouble.
And
we're going to discuss that later. Semen will.
Sorry, I thought you were talking about me there.
No,
Simon.
Semen will come into the show later. So on that bombshell, we're going to go to break. What just happened?
He's mad as hell. It's Kevin O'Sullivan.
Welcome back. Now is the time where we sift through all of your messages. Once again, I say this every week, but we really appreciate you getting in touch and giving us your thoughts. We get thousands, which is brilliant. Engagement from our audience all over the world. America, Australia, Latvia. We found out recently we got a lot. I have no idea what people watch in Latvia, but welcome, Latvians, all of you. So all over the world, we get messages. And we sift through them and we read out as many of them as we can, mainly the ones that praise me. Ladies first, Simon.
This is from Ingrid Lou. He says, serious, Mr. O'Sullivan, don't invite Simon if you can't allow him a fair, civilised chance. Not interested in one-man show. Shame on you. Think you must be fired.
Yes. Who's that?
We can talk to management. We're done with Kevin's awful, unprofessional behaviour. Stop this disgusting programme, please. Gratitude to you, Simon, and the lady.
Oh, yeah, well, that's nice.
Eric, you go in bed.
Who's that from?
That's from Ingrid.
Ingrid, go what have you got, Samara?
Wow, Ingrid. Elliot says, Meghan and Simon would make a fine pair. Two girls talking. Love that, Elliot.
Elliot, I refer you to Kevin's former answer.
Old Ingrid's a big fan of mine, isn't she?
This is from Frank. He says, Kevin is always 100% accurate with all his comments about everything. Thank you, Kevin. And then 3 emojis, a pumped bicep, fire, and a goat.
Frank, thank you, mate. Thank you. There are some sound thinkers most of our audience are very sound thinkers like Frank, but some of them aren't. Have you got a sound thinker or an unsound thinker?
Renee is would be enjoyable.
Don't walk away, Renee.
Would be enjoyable if Kevin could let the other people talk
What?
as well.
Shut up, no.
They are just props to him. No respect. There's a lot
Who's
of
that
respect here. Renee.
Renee, busted. You worked me out there.
Teaspoon.
Over to my other prop, Simon.
Teaspoon asks, how much does Meghan pay Simon? Not enough is the answer.
They don't have any money.
Teaspoon, stop stirring things up.
Oh, very good.
Hey. I'm here all night.
Cam has said, at least Simon is better than JJ, the one who insulted Angela on the show.
They never forgave him for Angela Levin, did they?
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah, a real
Still-
go at Angela, yeah.
It's a lot of drama.
But he was better than you, but well, now we're stuck with you, so poor old JJ.
Eva on the same tip as Teaspoon says, is Harris paying Simon as well? I'm from Kamala.
Yeah.
She has to pay homeless to show up at her scanty rallies.
Kate has said, poor Simon, he doesn't have a leg to stand on. H&M aren't making money. They're going broke except for H's inheritance from the Queen Mum. Very true, Kate. Wondering if that...
Bloody
which
right,
Kate that
bloody
is
right,
that
Simon.
wrote that in.
Absolutely on the button.
Paul Mardle here asks an interesting question. Says, Simon, what did Trump do when he was president that you did not like? Sorry, typo.
He got
Bet you can't answer this question. I don't know, an insurrection, let loads of people die, suggested we inject people
Here
with
he goes
COVID. was basically colluding with the Russians and Putin. Just that, you know, the little things.
Yeah, at least
anything substantial?
No.
So just a load of trivial.
I don't really like him because he's calling American veterans losers.
He's right wing. I hate him.
all stuff you care about. He left the economy in the best shape ever. So, all right. Anyway.
Thank you to Obama.
He's the world's most overrated man, and his wife is the world's most overrated woman.
Follow that.
Next up, it's Samara Gill.
Obama's very attractive. I will give him that. Okay.
And his wife has got degrees from Princeton and
Harvard. You got your guide dog down there. Hello, boy. All right.
That's a long-standing crush. Okay, anyway, Lewis has said, Simon, although I find your support of Harry and Meghan baffling, I do agree with you regarding Trump. The cognitive dissonance in the two regarding Trump is absolutely outstanding.
Thank you. He said that?
That was Athelia.
Athelia, yes, well done. Yeah. This is from Meredith Marino. Simon, it's clear you read/watch heavily slanted news about Trump because everything you said is inaccurate. Also, the fact that you're defending a candidate who has given no policies for us Americans to view and critically think on is dangerous and absurd. Believing it's okay for Kamala to run on nothing demonstrates just how severe your Trump derangement syndrome is.
Meredith Marino, great name, really good message, absolutely right. I think that's your trouble. You get all your information from the Guardian and the useless New York Times.
That's exactly where I get all my information.
Did you see? It's confirmed. Smart.
Exactly. Yep. Got to the bottom of it finally. Star Evan says, why does Kevin go on this show? All they do is attack...
Because it's my show, that's why.
I think Star is a bit... I don't know. All they do is attack and belittle and bully him every single time.
I think she's talking about me.
Star?
She's mother. Read that again.
Why does Kevin go on this show?
It's his show.
Star.
Why does Simon go on this show?
Yeah, that could be a good question. I think, why do I go on the show? I think it's got something to do with me being the host, but I can't be certain there.
Oh, I've got one like that as well, because Kathleen Rogers says, please let Kevin speak. That's all he does. And also, Debbie Granite.
Thank you, Catherine. Thank you.
Debbie
I'm speaking. Thank you, Catherine.
Debbie Granite, I think which will be a good segue. This is for you, Samara. She says, Samara, semen is only vegetarian if it's grass-fed.
Thank you for the information. Yes, I will take that into account.
When?
That could come in useful.
When?
Really never, because that's not really a working thing in my life at the moment.
At the moment? A working thing?
Yeah.
What do you do when you're not here?
Yeah. So,
you don't want to know. It's mostly just crying into a bowl of ice cream.
When you start dating a guy, do you sort of say, let me ask you this, do you eat grass? And on that grass-eating bombshell, let's go to a real ad.
You win. At Wayne Phillips Ford. You win. With affordable Ford. You win. With the winning team. You win with Wayne Phillips. Wayne Phillips Ford. If you're looking for a quality car, you win. Wayne's are the best by far. You win. More to choose, new and used. He's the man with a car for you. You win. At Wayne Phillips Ford. You win with Wayne Phillips. Wayne Phillips Ford.
You see, I said that was a real ad, didn't I? And I'm glad I didn't call it a bad ad, because that was a good commercial, wasn't it? Is that Australian?
Yes, that was shot. Yes,
of course it was.
That was shot yesterday. Those cars are the newest that we have. Yeah. Those are the newest that we have on display. Yeah, if you do
Is that
go
the
there,
level of cars you have in Australia?
Yes, and he looks like a fine man to buy a car from. I love the handlebar
Stop
mustache.
objectifying all the men in the ads, Samara.
Yeah, well, with all this talk of... Anyway.
Just because Wayne Phillips has got a girl's name, there is no need to turn him into a sex object.
Exactly.
And good luck with your boyfriends finding someone who eats grass. Thank you very much, Simon. And on that moment, we're going to call a halt to these excellent proceedings. That is the end of this episode of What Just Happened. We'll be back, same time, same place, right here on Talk next week. Stay tuned. What just happened?